There's nothing wrong with getting the answer of no. But the biggest problem is having enough guts to ask the questions. Because the first person may say no, the 15th person may say no, but the 20th person may be just the person you were looking for all along. It's just making those connections in life.
You're listening to Femcanic Garage, the podcast that features women in the automotive and motorsports industries. A community that elevates, empowers, and evolves by smashing stereotypes and breaking down barriers for women. I'm your host, Jamie Blosman. Buckle up for the ride, Femcanics. Kat Jones is in the driver's seat today. Kat is a businesswoman, a hot rod builder, and owner of Kat Pak Kustoms, an automotive restoration service. She built her first project car, a 1950 Chevy fastback, 5 years ago, and during her first build, she learned how to do metalwork, suspension work, engine mechanics, and how to do pinstriping. The kicker to all of this is she started that learning journey at around 50 years old. Kat hopes to challenge other people to learn new things and grow no matter their age. Listen to this inspiring woman as she shares her powerful story with us. Now sit back and enjoy the ride. Hello, Femcanics. This is Jamie B coming to you, and I have Kat Jones in the driver's seat today. How are you doing today, Kat?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here as well. I'm sitting there recalling, I'm not sure I found you. I think you found us through Women's Motor Fest. And
That's right.
even though I scour the internet for women, it just goes to show you that even with internet and all the access around that, and even with search terms, we're still not finding each other, right? It's amazing. And I spent a lot of time trying to find women in our industry. And it goes
we're in
down
the same
to
circles all the time. We have a lot of
right.
friends.
It just goes to show you how powerful the algorithms are. And even though we search for things, sometimes we still can't find each other, which makes it so important for us to community over competition, right? And I'll say that over and over again. It's community over competition. And because of that thought process and mission through Women's Motor Fest is how you found us, which it wasn't Femcanic Garage you found first. One of my favorite questions to ask, did you always know you would get into this industry?
I didn't know the depth that I would get into this industry. I knew it was skills that I wanted to explore in my lifetime. It was just finding the right moment to dive in and surround myself with the right people to educate me and to answer all of my crazy questions and to guide me along the path. And the rest of it is just persistence. It's like anything that you want to learn in life. If you have a passion and the desire to learn, find your people, and your world is your oyster. And don't be afraid to ask. I that is my number one thing in everything I do in life. There's nothing wrong with getting the answer of no. But the biggest problem is having enough guts to ask the questions. Because the first person may say no, the 15th person may say no, but the 20th person may be just the person you were looking for all along. It's just making those connections in life.
Your journey into this industry was another, I don't know, kind of mind blow to me, right? So let's back up. Let's back up a little bit. First of all, what did you let's go back to the early years of Kat Jones, okay? You went to college.
Yep.
What did you go to school for?
For special education. Um, Learned a lot about behavior modification, education, working with youth, all of those great things, and then never used that degree. Well, I used the skills acquired from that degree,
That's
and
fair.
found my bliss in healthcare, which I still work in. Developed those muscles, and I did a lot of self education. Actually, went back to school about 15 years ago to really sharpen those skill sets, make sure that I was keeping fresh in the knowledge bases, all of those things. But like everything in life, you always have those outside interests. And one of those for me has always been the automotive, whether it be my taste in my daily driver or how things work or just the mechanical aspects of it. All of those things led me to the point of wanting to have my own vehicle. And since my passion and my likes and my taste have a tendency to be a little bit different, I like different cars. And, my cars that I've had and have um, sort of lend themselves to that personality aspect of myself.
I have ran into a lot of women that are, when I say later in their career,
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by that is they're not fresh out of college, right? They're established in their career.
Mm-hmm.
Here you were, established in your career. How long have you been in the healthcare industry?
Mm, over 30 years now.
Okay. Established in your career. And
Yeah.
this is what I mean. And when I say established, I don't mean it necessarily has to be 30 years. It could
Yeah.
be 10, it could be 5, right? Um, but my point is, I have run into a lot of women where it's like, I've been doing it. I've been in this industry, fill in the blank, this long. I'm not switching, right? And what you just pointed out is so important because we are our biggest person that holds ourselves back. Do you know what
Totally.
I'm saying?
Totally agree.
And your story is so amazing around this. Just so that it gives the listeners an opportunity to chew on this a little bit,
Yeah.
because some of them are going to hang on this and they're
Yeah.
going to miss some of the important stuff. So let's just get this part out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You've technically,
Yeah.
right, air quotes, technically been in working in this industry for how many years?
Little over 5.
So a little over 5.
Mm-hmm.
And Kat, do you mind sharing your age?
I'm 54.
So you were 49 years old. And I'm not even going to say when you switched industries, right?
Yeah.
You got really serious
Yep.
about a passion project, we'll call that,
Yeah.
that's evolved and become its own animal
Yep.
almost, right? 49, ladies. We need to stop this mess about, oh, this is the way it's always
Exactly.
been, so I'll just we need to stop that craziness. If you have an interest, and it's not like you've walked away from your healthcare
Nope.
background and industry either,
Nope.
right?
They're parallel
It's such
universes. I love them both. I have passion for both, and it's one of those things that I always talk with women at car shows and in events in general, and people are like, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And I'm like, I'm
but you
there's
can.
you can learn anything. You have to have a passion for it.
Here you had your first rebuild, right?
Mhm.
How long did that take you, that car?
That one was about 4 months.
About 4 months. And high
Yeah.
level, what did you need to do to it?
Rewire a lot of components to the vehicle, redo the airbag system, reprogram the engine so it would actually run and drive. Redid the interior, the headliner, painted the interior, did a lot of pinstriping,
Now, let
redid
me
the
let
door
me pause you
cards.
for a second. When you
Yeah,
say I had to do, let's qualify that, right? When
yeah,
you say interior,
yeah.
with your hands, what did you do?
I redid. I built out the door cards. I painted the interior. I pinstriped it. I put in a new rug that was unique. It was an actual house interior rug from my pinstriping mentor. Did pinstriping on the exterior of the car. Learned how to do wood graining on the first car for the inside trim. So did research on that, and then figured out what colors I wanted to
And that's the
incorporate and
first
did
time you
that.
had ever done it.
Oh yeah.
Folks, you have to go online and see this first time pass. Like, I was blown away. Like, I'm like, there's no way you haven't done this before. But you
Yeah.
haven't. Like, you've spent your
No.
entire, it's just,
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about a calling and just like God-given talents. I just, wow, you have to have the patience of a saint to do some of that. Like, I just, whew, man.
It's
So
just research. It really just comes down to
yeah,
wanting to do the research, because even with the interior on that car, it was, watching videos of other people doing it, or watching videos on how to do wood graining, and going out to Lowe's or Home Depot, I don't remember which, and buying the wood graining tool and learning what works better, gel stain or regular stain, or all of those things, and just doing it. And the worst that can happen. It doesn't turn out how I want it, and then I decide I have to paint it instead. It was, same thing with the pinstriping. I'm not a professional. I have friends who are just the most amazing pinstripers, but I did research on designs I thought I could do, and I tackled it, and it turned out pretty cool. Some of it was some of my best pinstriping work, and I was really proud of it. And when I sold the car, I was glad I wasn't home when they came for it, because I probably would have cried. It was a little piece of my soul there,
yeah.
but I knew that it was going to help me build the next one. And I think,
Now,
and that was exciting.
what is your parting advice to other femcanics finding their way in this industry?
You're not alone. There's a bunch of us out there, and you're always welcome. Kat Jones, car fabricator. I'm a femcanic.
Hey, Femcanics, this is Jamie B. Thanks for listening to the preview. If you would like to listen to the complete interview, we provided 2 convenient links below that will link directly to this episode. These links take you to Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can always go to your favorite podcast listening platform and search for Femcanic Garage. While you're there, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button and give us a rating. It helps the podcast reach more women. And just know, we appreciate you and your support. This is Jamie B signing off. Are you a femcanic?